Okay, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. The time is now 9:55 a.m. We're going to start as scheduled and on time. So I want to say good morning to everyone. And before I do that, Madam Chairpersons, can you hear me before I start proceeding?
Yes, so I can hear you very clearly.
Good.
Very clearly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Joyce Levins, can you hear me?
Yes, Chris, I can hear you.
I just want to make sure, just making sure. First of all, everyone, good morning. I hope everyone is having a great day. And to everyone, it is a great day as you see me. And I'm going to remind people when they come in, have a little respect on the computers. Please keep it muted. Thank you. As a reminder, everyone, welcome to the meeting. I'm going to remind everyone, and I'm going to be clear, if I have trouble speaking, Deborah's going to jump in. So, as you know, you heard Deborah said it earlier. I'm not going to say it because I want to keep focusing on the meeting. As a reminder, everyone, housekeeping rules is very important and show courtesy and respect to anyone. You have a microphone that is available. If you click on the AUDIO, you can combine it to your phone. That is fine. It depends if you updated your software yet, which they are doing that as we speak. Camera is available. Reacting button, which is a smiley face, also has the hand raise and other devices, including captional if you need, and other devices is available. Also, the chat is available, so please put your comments, questions, announcements, or identify yourself who you are. Some of you already know. Thank you. Please make sure, everyone, that the very important thing is please keep your microphones muted. We don't need every microphone on because it causes major echo and it can damage the speaker systems, including my ears or anyone's ears. If you have a question or a comment, please use the hand raise. That is not that hard to use, or the chat. We'll get to you as soon as possible. There's a lot of people are coming in. We have a very high attendance number today, and it is not the correct number you're seeing up there. We have two groups that's double the number, and I will say double. So I am going to remind everyone, please use some respect and courtesy, and it is recorded on two ways, your wordings and the screen. So that's how it's called, recording minutes. So let's have always courtesy as you come in, immediately mute your button and keep an eye on your Wi-Fi. So let me move on. And as you see that saying, please mute your microphone. As we say,
I'm not sure I have headphones for you.
Carrie, you know the drill.
Oh, okay.
Carrie, please, guys, this is not.
Sorry.
At the same time, also, I need to make a motion for the joint meeting minutes, and a reminder, everyone, the minutes are always available on the website by the end of this week, and the minutes were emailed out. So I do need a motion, please, for the minutes.
This is Deborah Wright, Chair of the Brooklyn Family Sports Service Advisory Council. I make a motion to accept the minutes. I just need a second.
I second.
Thank you, Joyce Levin.
Thank you.
Joyce, can I just have 30 seconds? I just want to explain everything quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher has a very mild case of Bell's palsy. Nobody hit him. Nobody punched him. He is under major doctor care. He's allowed to do whatever he would like to do. And if he can't pronounce, okay, whoever's iPad, please mute and identify yourself in the chat. Thank you. Christopher Greif I will assist him if he has trouble speaking, and that's only due to the Bell's palsy. So please, everyone, have patience with Christopher, as well as show courtesy to the rest of our speakers here. We have very important information to share. Thank you, Joyce, for letting me just do that quickly. And now I would like to call on the chairperson of the Brooklyn Developmental Disabilities Council, Ms. Joyce Levin. She will be giving her report first. Joyce, are you ready?
Yes, thank you, Deborah, and good morning to everybody. I am in my office, so I do not have a working camera on my computer, so you'll just hear me, you won't see me. but I appreciate everybody coming to the meeting. Thank you. There's a couple of things I wanted to go over. One is we will be having the virtual 5-borough breakfast on March 3rd. Registration information will be coming out again shortly. Chris put it up, and I know he sent it out. So please wait for the details on the registration, and then you can begin to register for the breakfast. We're doing it again virtually this year with the 5 boroughs. Still, COVID is still very much a focus and around. So the councils don't feel comfortable doing in-person events like the breakfast at this point. So we will be doing one jointly together again. And I hope everybody will be able to attend. We're told that Governor Hochul will have her budget ready on and disseminated on February 1st. Normally it's due in January, but because this is an election year, she gets a couple more weeks to present it. And we hope that the IDD community will be front and center in the budget. We don't know. But to that end, today is a day of action. Night is social day of action to support the long-term investment into our programs. Chris has sent out the information. I'll ask him to resend that out so people can text, tweet your local legislators, the governor, and let them know we're here and we need to be included. We have to be a priority in fiscal year 2024. For so many years, this community was left out. And we do appreciate the 5.4% COLA that was given this past year on the 22-23 budget, but that's not enough. We're still not attracting staff. When I just heard today that Walmart's starting salary is going to be $1,750. Even with the COLA, our direct care starting salary is not $1,750. And in today's day and age, that's a crime. So we really need to work with our legislators and the governor on making that happen. There will be a rally on February 13th in the War Room in Albany, in the Capitol, in the legislature building. And again, we're asking the legislators, the governor, to invest in our services. The DSP, we're asking for a DSP enhancement of $4,000 per employee and the 8.5% COLA for the governor's budget for 2024. So that's really important that we support that and get that going. So I urge everybody today to take part in the social media advocacy. And if you can go on the 13th, there will be more information about that. Where the time, I think it's 11 o'clock in the War Room. I think it's an hour for people that will be able to make it. Or you can meet locally with your legislators and let them know how important it is to support the IDD community and support the services for our individuals. The other thing I wanted to, are there any questions? I'm sorry. No? Okay. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, I've been discussing the possibility of having a family support fair and letting everybody know that, Chris, Debbie, Brian, and myself cannot put on the fair by ourselves. And we really need a committee of people to volunteer to do that. So if people want to see a family support fair, I urge people to send us an email and let us know you're interested in serving on the committee and helping to put the fair together. Because it'll only work if we have a group of us. It doesn't work for 4 people to put it together. So again, I'm urging people, if you want to be involved with that, please email us so we can get a group together and begin to work on this. It's a big job, and we really need your help with that. So with that, I'll ask if there's any questions.
Yes, I think I see Carrie Banks raise her hand.
Carrie, go ahead.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, you're muted. Carrie, you're muted.
Hi, Carrie. We can't hear you.
You should be able to hear me now?
Now
Yes,
we can hear you.
now we can
Okay.
hear you.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with my computer. There's like a 5-second delay in everything I do. It's very weird.
That's okay.
Okay.
I just wondered what's your time frame for the fair?
Well, we were hoping something for the spring, but I think that's kind of too late at this point. So it would probably be in the fall.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Does anybody else have any questions for Joyce Levin?
There's a question on the chat that they're asking, as a lot of people are coming in right now, and before I go to the speaking, everyone that's coming in, you really need to please mute yourselves, please, because I heard some words I should never actually hear again, and it's very inappropriate. And whoever's doing that, I will have to remove you. That is, please show courtesy. Getting back to the chat, please. There is a question. If you guys do a fair, is it going to be, and I know this is because somebody's making rumors, I don't know, but this is from the group. Is it going to be ADA accessible? Which I think we all know the answer is yes.
Our events are always ADA accessible.
I also want to bring up that when we did the resource fair, I would always make sure with assistants walk through we would walk right through the whole resource fair. And if I couldn't feel that, I'm not even talking about a regular size wheelchair or walker, if a larger size mobility device could not get through, it was then not accessible, and I kept a watch on it. We're very cautious. We only pick venues that will be accessible and can work with us. So we guarantee, I can personally say, it has not ever happened in the past, and we hope not to have inaccessible events. Any other questions for Joyce Levin?
No. But just to let Joyce know, because I know she has to leave early. Joyce, we do have some elected official representative that is here. Just to let everyone know, he just put something into the chat. Let me just make sure. I'm sorry, that's someone else. I'm sorry. And I'm glad he got it ready. Just letting you know he's there, and I know. Good morning, Rose. I see you. He says if anyone has any questions, you can please put that into the chat. You heard me, like I said, right?
Yes, we heard you loud and clear. Again, I want to make one more quick announcement. I want everybody to be aware. I'm moving quick. If you don't interrupt me, it'll be quicker. I want everybody to be aware that Christopher Greif does have a mild case of Bell's palsy. He can participate, can speak. If he has trouble pronouncing words, I will step in to assist him. So we're aware and want everybody to know he is allowed to participate. Please, everyone, work with us. Thank you.
No, Joyce, there's nothing else. We're all set.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Joyce. Appreciate it.
Now let's move on to our speaker. He's here. And he just put his information into the chat, which I say thank God. Edmund from Policy. I'm going to say make it easy. Accessibility represents accessibility for New York City Department of Transportation, which is known as DOT. Edmund, are you there? so we can see your face.
Right here, Chris.
And
Oh,
look,
Edmund, this is Deborah Greff. Can you please give us the correct pronunciation of your name? Because I
Yes.
Esidu, or I said it right.
Yeah, I see you do. You did a great job. I see you do. And
Thank
the clue is
you.
the clue is very simple. I see you do works. If you can remember, I see you do. That's
I
my
see I
last name.
do. I got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Deborah.
You're welcome.
And Chris, thank you for the introduction and also the invitation, and the wonderful work that you've been doing. I really appreciate it. Letting us know what is happening out there and how best we can collaborate to make sure that we are making our bus stops accessible. And many other issues that you've been reporting, especially to me. I really appreciate it, and let's continue to do that.
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree. And I also do want to thank Brian, who couldn't be here, because we did have this discussion, and he definitely agreed with me on it. So I do want to say it was both councils. I want to thank them very much, because we work together in this borough, and we want to keep it up. And since we're in January of the new year, we want to make sure that 2023 looks even stronger, and we continue staying strong as New York Tough. So I want to thank both chairpersons, Brian, the vice chair, and thank you, everyone. It's all yours, Brian. I mean Edmund. Sorry.
No, it's Edmund. I see you do.
I know.
Yes.
Edmund, this is Deborah. I just want one thing to appreciate. Please explain the areas of accessibility that you cover for complaints, like the issue with the curb cuts and other things. A lot of people do not understand what the role is from New York City DOT. I do because I'm a local community, but I've been trained. So,
awesome. That's a very good question. Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome.
And thanks again, Chris. So basically, any accessibility issue or concern regarding the streets that we have in the city. So, you can talk about the curb cuts, the pedestrian ramps that we have in the city. You can also talk about the accessible pedestrian signals that help individuals with vision disabilities to be able to navigate the street, the corners that we have in the city, and many others, even plazas and all that. Any accessibility concern that individuals will have, and bus stops also as well. So what happens is that DOT, we maintain the bus stops, and then MTA operate the transit system itself. So that is why I've been working with Chris, over the years. Anytime Chris sees a bus stop that has issues or accessibility concerns, Chris will just take a photo and then send them to me and say, Edmund, here you go. And then we'll find a way to get a solution to it. We are like, not partners in crime, but, we are working just to make sure that these bus stops are accessible. So this and many other concerns. One thing that sometimes people think that DOT is responsible for is, accessibility as far as the subway system is concerned, and a lot of you will also know that falls under the MTA. And so what happens is that usually people can reach out to me with any concerns that they have. But there are some other programs that if you allow me, I can go on and speak, like the parking permits for people with disabilities in the city. Sometimes some people apply and the process takes longer, and I must admit it is taking longer because we are short staffed and more people are applying. But if you applied and you've not heard from them, or if you have any specific question that you believe that Edmund will be able to sort of like help you navigate that, just feel free to reach out, and I try my best to respond to my emails, within 24 hours. If you don't send it by 3 p.m. on Friday, you'll be able to hear from me. So these and many others that we, my office deals with. Deborah, did I respond to your question?
Pretty
you
much. Pretty much you did. The biggest issue is that I try to explain to everyone that you handle the on the street. So like if the
Yeah.
bus stop is not accessible, but the biggest problem is, I don't know if we told you, I use a walker now for mobility, and it makes it impossible when cars think they're funny. They pull in such a way that the bus is going to have a hard time boarding me. And not just only me, other people who use, and it's worse if it's a motorized or a regular wheelchair. It's very non-motorized wheelchair, so it's very hard. And also, the businesses that they serve, they should be they should be informing their customers they can be ticketed if they don't stop doing this. Every picture you got is because I couldn't get on the bus, or someone else like me couldn't get on the bus.
Correct. So if I hear you correctly, you're talking about other motorists who usually park at the bus stops. Is that what you were talking about?
What it is, I'll say it quick. I'll give a perfect example. Community Board 15 Avenue Z, the northeast corner Avenue Z and Coney Island Avenue. There's a bagel place. There's a what I would call the candy store or dental. They think they're cute. They park right at the corner, so when the bus has to come in, it can't. Can't pick us up at all.
Correct.
And they keep doing this, and I've had it. And not only me, everybody.
Correct. I think I've seen that since I'm a wheelchair user. I didn't actually introduce myself very well, but
that's okay.
I have a mobility disability. I use a wheelchair, so like I really know this issue that you're talking about, people blocking access, as far as the bus stops are concerned. But this is what I would say. So, I've been encouraging Chris to really, and I'm sure that he's been doing that. So what we do is that we maintain the street, right? We do like the facilities and the infrastructure. We make sure that they're accessible, they are in good condition, they are safe. We do that. But when it comes to like enforcing the law, that is something that is that falls under NYPD, and so it gets but let's say if you write to me, I will forward that email to someone at NYPD and encourage them to really, sort of like act on it. But this has been going on, and from other folks,
I'm so sorry.
they don't really hear
I'm
that.
sorry, Ed. Can somebody please mute their phone?
Rose, this is Chris. I already got it on the control. It's not that. It's Edmund's because the people behind him are talking, so I took the control.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
Pick me up.
Okay, is it better now?
Edmund, it's working fine. I'm checking the wordings, and all the words you're saying is clear. So I just need to focus on the wordings you're saying. So I got it on the control. We got it on the control, guys.
Okay. Yeah, no, I also want to make sure that the noise here is not coming again.
It does come
is that
in
okay,
and out.
Rose?
It comes in and out. We can't hear someone speaking near you.
But it's not. We don't hear their words. And actually, I can hear your words. But now I'm speaking, or Rose speaks. It's going to hear our words. So as I remind everyone, that's why the microphones has to be on when he speaks, so I can focus on his words, and I have it under control. Continue.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. New device.
We are really close to each other, and my colleague is also in a meeting. Sorry about that. But I will try my best to make sure that it doesn't disrupt our conversation. Yeah. So, for example, there is, and now back to my answer to Deborah's question. So similar to my role, there is somebody at NYPD who also does that, like sort of like make sure that feedback and concerns from individuals with disabilities and advocate everyone as far as accessibility is concerned, that we can all sort of like send our concerns to, and to make sure that they act on it. And so what I would say is that even though it's not, the enforcement doesn't fall under my agency, feel free to send that to me and I'll be able to reroute it to the right person for it to be taken care of.
Yes, I've done that, Edmund, and also we do 311, and we let both local community boards as well as not just the 6-1, the 60, and we do also let community fairs for Brooklyn South as well as the citywide community fairs. We let everybody know.
Correct, but yes, that then that is what I hear from folks, from people. People said, "Oh, Edmund, hey, you give me this email. I emailed someone, and nothing good has come out of it." It's. I would say that it's an issue that as advocates, we really have to speak with our local policymakers, assembly members, and also even the community board members. Like, we really have to get these folks into the conversation, because I can see advocates, individuals doing their part, like reaching out and all that to NYPD. But I mean, I have personally also like reached out, and still that issue persists. So we have to find a way to change that policy. There should be a strong policy that will probably stop, that will increase the enforcement of that.
Edmund, this is Chris. I want to get
Hi, Chris.
I want to get to the questions because I know we have other people got it. I know you have a busy schedule, but I want to make sure because people have questions and it's increasing in one way. And just to let everyone know, Edmund, you spoke every word clearly, but I do want to thank Rosal for the record. It's always good to have a backup person to make sure and scare them off a little bit, because at least I can hear you clearly. All your words are working fine. So I have everything what you're saying there. So I just want to thank Rosal and the councils, because that's how we work as a team here in Brooklyn. And right now I'm going to go to the first question. If anyone has questions, please put them in the chat or raise your hand as soon as possible so we can get the questions and then go into IEC and OPWD report. I didn't forget you guys. We are going to speed up a little bit. Thank you. So let me put on the question sign up at this moment, and let me start with question number 1. Just letting you know, I'm not going to say the person's names because I'm showing respect to courtesy, but there is some questions with you because they're actually never heard of you. They thought they never knew that you existed, in which I'm going to tell them, well, I just proved you all right. And I might have this issue, but guess what? My mind is still there. So the question is, if we take a picture and we do put this into 311, we put the complaint number in, but nothing gets done. Can we send you that information plus the picture plus the information?
Yes. So I put my email in the chat. Please feel free to do that. I'm not gonna be worried. I enjoy hearing from you, and what happens is that when you I would say, like, when you call 311, sometimes it takes longer before it gets to us, right? Because it has some sort of like levels of communication, and then before it gets to us for it to be acted on. But if you get it to me, we get it right here. It's like. So maybe before you send it to 311, just give share that with me, and I'll be able to sort of like get folks, act on it. What happens, and sometimes what happens is that we receive these concerns, many of them, and so we always want to plead with you to give us some time in order for you to see it really happening. The changes that you requested. In order for you to see it happening, we sometimes say 45 days, 72, depending on the issue that you reported to us. But I would say that send it to me, and we will make it work. Chris, was there a question about someone not knowing me, right?
I already said that already. I just gave that answer already in.
Okay.
Let's just say
Can I
I
can I
proved them.
can
I
I
just
say
proved
something?
myself right, and I just proved something wrong on them. So now they're just saying, "My apologies. You're right. Never doubt me again." But let me get to the next question for you. Um,
Okay.
and this is something that everyone needs to pay close attention, and this is important. The Brooklyn redesign is, going on right now. Just yesterday, they did the DDRO area, which I have to say, for Lucy, I know she can hear me. DDRO is in better shape. It's going to be 100 times better shape than it ever was. But right now, the concern that is Edmund, what happened in the Bronx, which is not going to happen in Brooklyn. We know that some bus stops might have to be discontinued, but we do need to hear you guys, your voices, about why that bus stop has to stay there for a very important reason. And I know, Edmund, you agree with me. You need to hear that. MTA needs to hear that, but not attacking them. It's just telling you guys, we need to hear from you. It can't just be me or Deborah. It needs to be everyone. And that's the one way we can fix the problem. And if your community boards may forget, well, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not, because they already heard me already, and they know I'm going to come with a frying pan at them because they know me already, or Debbie, or Joyce, or Brian. We just need everyone to please do your part on that. And I will continue more talking about it later on.
Excuse me, I just want to add one thing. Everyone doesn't understand, Edmund, sadly doesn't understand about the different layers. New York City has added disability, access disability liaisons in each of the departments. But what also I tell everybody is, you have the right to appear at your local community board and speak at public session. You also should be going to your local precinct community council. If you live in NYCHA, you go to the PSA council. But why do you do that? Because it's on public record. And if the more people complain to the different and show up to these meetings, your elected officials also are always there at those meetings, or their reps. That's how we've been able to get a lot done. But I need more assistance. Chris and I can't do it ourselves. So we need this extra assistance. So please, everyone, if we have to, we'll get the schedules or tell you which links to go through for the Brooklyn 18 community boards and the precinct council.
Guys, it's on the website. It's on the advisory council website. So easy to get on. It's like so many places you can find it. And I have reminders for the record 16 times. I don't want to make it 117 times, but I will mention it later. Madam Chair, at this time, there is no other questions, but before I proceed, I want to double check. Does anyone have questions for Edmund? Because I think I mentioned a lot of the questions, but Edmund, you get a chance. Can you please put your email and information into the chat?
I will definitely do that again. Mm-hmm. I did it earlier, but I will bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say something very quickly about what Deborah said. It's the effort, and personally, I appreciate all the work that you're doing, the work that everyone on this call is doing. When you say government, it is us, right? We the people. And when we appear at these meetings in numbers, like Deborah was describing earlier, it forces, or it creates this picture to the policymakers that, a lot of people they have concerns about this, or what these people are saying represents sort of like a lot of people in this particular locality. So it's like the way people collect signatures. When there is an issue, some people will say, they'll be walking around, and then people will be, they will say, "Oh, can you sign on to this?" And then somebody will sign. It is similar to that. So I would also encourage you to show up at your community board meetings. Take that as an opportunity to show up and make your voices heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Edmund. I appreciate that. And also, because in the precinct councils, they do have structure, but you can bring up issues. And 99% of the time, the captain is there, or if he's a deputy inspector, but also community affairs show up. And they take this seriously, and they will speak with you if you need to offline, so that if you have this issue. For the community boards, there are the public sessions. You let the community board office know. You can, if you didn't in advance but know the meeting, you raise your hand. But it's very important. As I said, also complain to your local elected officials. You don't have to speak to the official, talk to the staff. They will take your complaints and work on it with you. And we should invite you again, Edmund. We can invite you because even if we have to do a meeting just geared on DOT issues, we will. Okay?
Here.
I look forward to that. Thanks, Deborah.
You're very welcome.
Yes, I'm here.
And, okay.
Someone's a little jammy. But Edmund, stay around because the next report coming up is IEC from Mary. Mary, you there? Guys, can someone say something?
Mary, I see. Mary, okay, she's trying to unmute, I bet. Mary, it's your turn, IEC. Okay. All right. There she is. She's trying. We had her.
Okay. Hi, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened there. I couldn't unmute.
This things, Mary. Sometimes the mute button gets a little sensitive, so don't worry. It's not just you. Sometimes it's even me. You might forgive me, everyone. I'm having a little power surge again on the advisory end, so please ignore the screen at this time. Mary, go ahead. I will try to get it back on in a few minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. I have a quick report. Chris and Joyce were nice enough to cover some of the information already for me. Just to reiterate, today is NIDA is holding a social media day of action. Chris, you had said, I believe that you had sent information out to all the members on how you can participate in the advocacy efforts for enhanced wages and benefits for our direct support professionals. Certainly, if anyone has any questions or needs any help with that you feel free to reach out to me as well. And I'll put my email in the chat before getting off today. Just in case people are not aware, Tom McLavano retired from the field after 40-something years, the end of December, and we are happy to share that Winnie Schiff is our new chief executive officer at IAC. Lobby days this year, we're doing it a little bit different. February 13th and 14th are going to be on the for OPWDD services. There is a rally in the Capitol War Room on the 13th, and then later in the day, as well as on the 14th, there will be leadership appointments with legislators made in Albany. On February 28th and March 1st, lobbying efforts in Albany will be focusing on education. We are asking, IAC is asking its members to please communicate and set up appointments with local Senate legislation to advocate. And if you're able to do that, please email Winnie, letting her know which legislator you met with, because she'd like to try to keep a record of who we've spoken with, who's aware of our issues, who our supporters are, and how we can nurture those relationships and continue to ask those elected officials to advocate on behalf of the people we're supporting. We have a couple of pre-budget asks that we're coordinating with the other trade associations for advocacy. OPWDD, of course, we're focused on advocating for enhancement and COLA for our direct support workforce to be able to address the staffing crisis and living wage issues for our workforce. For state education department, we're asking for 13% growth in the budget and tweaks to the rate methodologies so schools can get and keep the money that comes through in the increase. And this is not my area of expertise, but I do know that something in the state ed, the current state ed rate methodology, even when there is an increase, something about having a surplus, those monies have to go back to state ed. And for our education providers, it never seems to equal out because they're giving with one hand and then they're taking the same amount away. So we're advocating that the rate methodology be tweaked. And Department of Health, we're advocating for a 11% increase in funding to early intervention. And we're advocating on a number of issues on behalf of our Article 16s and 28 clinics, including restrictions around telehealth. There's also proposed regulations around, if the clinician or patient are not on site, they are suggesting to lower the rate of reimbursement to carve out capital cost. But even when a telehealth appointment does occur, the point is that the clinic still needs its walls and its floor and, all of the admin staff and behind the scenes staff who do the billing and HR and all of that. So we're hoping that will not be cut out. There are some new committee chairs. Rebecca Seawright is the chair of the Assembly Disabilities Committee. Amy Paulin is the chair of the Assembly Health Committee. And John Mannon is the chair of the Senate Disabilities Committee. Just some updates and changes. State Ed Department, Phyllis Morris is retiring. She's been with State Ed for years and years and has been a strong advocate for our cause when it comes to the schools. So she's retiring, but we're hoping that we're going to still see her in our community working with us for advocacy. For those who haven't heard, Roger Bearden is leaving at the end of the month. We're not sure where he's going or who's coming in to take his position. But that was kind of hot off the presses last week, so I wanted to share that with everyone. On January 10th, Governor Hochul gave her State of the State address with a broad parameters for budget, which will be released around the last week of January, first week of February. Unfortunately, she did not mention us or healthcare workers, and we wish she did because, she's been a friend to us thus far, and we need to continue having her work with us to support the initiatives we need to support the people we're working with. She discussed $1 billion for mental health initiatives, working on minimum wage and inflation. She's also spoke to $125 million for pre-K, and is designating New York to be a model employer for people with disabilities. The other update is the governor signed Senator Mannion's law, which was a timeline for eligibility determination of 120 days. And what that means is that it is now a law that OPWDD must respond within 120 days to people who are requesting eligibility and services. There's different increments built into the law that when an eligibility request is received, if there's something incomplete or missing, OPWDD has 30 days to request the information. They then have 60 days following receipt of that information to ensure that the request is being addressed. They also are, the law also indicates that OPWDD will be required to report on a quarterly basis the number of applicants received, the number of applications approved, and the timeframes in which they were approved. So that will hopefully be a big relief and support. We all know, any of us who've worked in this field know that sometimes those things can get caught up in an abyss somewhere, and you have somebody sitting at home for months and months who's desperately in need of services. So that's a great thing. We're excited about that. NIDA had put out a staffing and fiscal survey asking providers to please complete that. So again, it will assist in our advocacy efforts for direct support professionals' wages. And just in closing, just a save the date plug, IAC's annual conference has been scheduled for June 7th and 8th. This year, we will be in person at UJA on 59th Street and Lexington Avenue, right near Bloomingdale's. More information to follow, but we're hoping to be able to provide attendees with a well-rounded presentations that address some of the staffing crisis, some innovation, and taking care of the caretaker, which our workforce desperately needs. That was a lot of information. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Mary, this is Chris. Deborah Grive has a question, and
Okay.
then I'll go to the chat questions in just a minute.
Sure.
You guys can see my screen before I proceed?
I see the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes,
That's me.
all I need to do.
You see me. Okay, I'm Mary.
Yes.
Thank you for all that information. Can you just send it to me in a separate email? Because I want to make sure I have all my facts, what you said, who's been reappointed in this and that. And two,
Absolutely.
okay, we have been meeting with a lot of the new Assembly and State Senate between Chris and I, in between, as you know, the running to the doctor issue, but
Sure.
we have been, and they are. In fact, I could tell you that if you show the new state senator who took over for Diane Savino is a sibling, like I am. And also Alex Brooke Krasny, I can't pronounce her name, but I promise we'll send it to you. With Diane Savino. Okay. But also Alex Brooke Krasny used to be a Democrat, now he's a Republican, but that doesn't mean he does support us. We just have a new assemblyman who took over for Steve Simowitz lost, but a lot of them have been asking us for assistance to keep them updated. We're letting them know as best as we can. Unfortunately, we can't go. He and I can't go up this year because of medical, but we can participate in other ways to work with you. So just please let Winnie know that we're helping the best we can. And thank you, Joyce. We know you have to go, but we are helping the best we can. Okay, so Chris and I'll keep. But also give me the emails of everyone who's, since I know there are changes in IEC, I want to make sure I do this correct as chair of the advisory. Thank you. And
Okay,
yes, I
very
knew about
good.
we do know about Roger Bearden leaving, but we don't know why. Well,
Right.
Thanks.
Okay. My pleasure.
Okay. Before I continue to the questions, we do just want to let you know, Mary, we do have a couple of elected official representatives on.
Wonderful.
So I think they're definitely hearing what you're saying, and just want to let you guys know we always welcome elected officials reps so they can see what's going on, because it could be different issues. And before I continue, does anyone have any questions for Mary? Because right now I can see only 2 questions on the chat, so I want to make it clear. Because then I want to get to Lucy or Maisie, so make sure everyone can hear all the antidotes. So if you have that chance, or you want to raise your hand, please do so, because Debbie can see it, I can see it, and I know everyone else can see it. But I want to make that clear. Mary, can you please be the question they're asking is regarding concerning of the budget. There is some rumors going around, and there's 2-part question is this.
Okay.
Well, one rumor is not, it's a true one. And Debbie can vouch with me on this one. But the first one is, How do we know which one is everyone's telling the truth about healthcare? Is it being cut? Is it being increased? Or it's just staying the same? Because they don't know who's telling the truth. We're not saying the elected officials are lying. They're just getting very mixed up communication with the press. And that's one of the issues they're having, is the press. And the concern is right now is the press is giving everyone confusion. It's the same issue we're having with transportation, because a lot of people are getting mixed information, which sometimes the press likes to leave out disability also. That's the main question. The other question is you may heard this from Debbie, or you heard this from Joanne Williams, and Debbie has spoken to Joanne Williams already. People with disability, it doesn't matter what direction it is, they're getting kicked out for no reason. Getting kicked out. Debbie, can you add that, please?
Right. This is the problem. In all 5 boroughs, individuals, parents who have children with developmental disabilities, especially if the child makes noise with the behaviors, whether they're in the autistic spectrum or not, they just look to evict you or threaten you with evictions. And the reason I have the chief of staff. They know that I was delayed getting back the information because I had to take care of Chris, but they understood. So I'm letting her know, because I have parents who are being told they have to vacate immediately, or they're giving them till March, the end of March, whatever. But the problem is it's our population too that they are going after. I understand about noise, I do, but just targeting them because of the developmental disability, or the child can't help it. I mean, this is not right.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. I'll be very happy to speak to you much later. Yes, the Brooklyn DDROs. Okay, anyone in Brooklyn who has that issue, I've informed them. My counterpart in the Bronx, she's done the same thing too. Manhattan, Staten Island. I hope Queens is paying attention. We don't know. I don't know. I'm going to leave it like that.
At this moment, we're going to say to be determined. Let's not worry about that. Let's focus on our borough.
Okay, for our borough, I constantly let the Brooklyn DDRO know. It is not their fault about what's happening. And also changes to certain services have affected everybody. I would love to talk to you, and would like to talk to you and Winnie offline about this, because I don't want to take up a ton of time. But yes, I'm taking this very seriously. Jeremiah Williams actually heard me, because that night we were at the new Brooklyn Borough President's State of Address, he purposely made sure to put the information through my phone so I'd be connected to his chief of staff. And I do know he takes it seriously. So we need to also work with him to help, because since the reason I say him, not the only one, but for New York City, he does all 5 boroughs. And the role of the public advocate is to advocate for us. So the man said he's willing. So I will let them know so we can work together, because I'm very concerned. I was once threatened with eviction. I fought back. I won the case. But I knew that without the help of, besides the elected officials, OPWDD helped me but legally with a housing advocate, which saved ours. But it was for my child and me. I used the Brooklyn Legal Services, but everybody, we work together as a team. But we need to, this is another serious issue, because it is not good for us to have the children being placed in, nobody should have to go to a homeless shelter. And if they don't have,
of course not.
So we can work on this. The other issue also serious is ARC is doing this. When I say, we have to raise the income levels for Social Security disability insurance, because our children because they were disabled before the age of 22, they collect under their parents. So if they go to work and they make $1 more, because the wages are different now, they make $1 more than mom and dad, they lose their medical coverage, and they also lose their waiver services, which is a horrible thing to happen. So I would like for us to also work, because we have to educate every legislator. They don't always understand what I say.
Right.
The lack of understanding for Social Security benefits is unbelievable. So, but we can work on this at another time, because I know we have. Okay, so that's me. If anybody,
just off the top of my head, as far as individuals and families who are facing eviction, they've, are we referring folks to New York lawyers for public interest and all those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we know
Yes.
Viola's here.
Yes, and I
Okay.
can talk to Paola, can call me later, and I'll talk with her too.
Right. 'Cause
Everybody,
I know from their presentations at several
yes,
different council meetings that they're a great support and strong advocate for the people with developmental disabilities.
yes. And we also have the issue with, yes, Carrie, I'm aware of this because my unofficially adopted child, he lives in NYCHA. I'm only 3 years older than him, that's all you but no, they have tried a couple of times to evict him, and we stopped it because we know the rules. Growing up in NYCHA, I understand what they do and how they do it. And I'm aware of that. And yes, I informed Jamani Williams. I've informed any of the staff I know of different elected officials. But unfortunately, some of them who used to be with the elected officials that I were mine are not in office anymore. So I have to, start new. But yes, I also worked with Synergeria, UCP, New York City. I am working with but we have to increase our efforts. It's getting worse again. And we have to educate our mayor again. So, yes,
Got a lot of work to do.
Yes,
Madam
we
Chair,
do.
guys, we have a hand raised. Can you?
Yes, I see. Okay, do you see it, Chris? Because I'm trying to. Okay.
Hi, it's me. The hand raise is me. It's Paola Martinez
I
Bonadas.
was just gonna say Paola. Thank you, Paola.
Thank you, Paola.
I was taking notes about this because in the past we have sued regarding the same issue that you are mentioning, Debbie. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect you with our housing attorney, and so she can collect information from you, and eventually people who are having these issues gonna have to contact us directly. So what is the best time that she can call you, Debbie, for this first step?
Call me around between 1 and 2.
1 and 2. And can you email me your best number? I mean, I don't want
Paola, this is Chris. I'm putting it into the private chat, so please look at that area.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Okay, bye.
And Mary, thank you also for listening to and agreeing that these are very serious issues.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want anyone to be homeless. I don't want any of our individuals to lose any service. It's not saying, I don't want people to think I don't want our children to work. That's not the issue. But because certain developmental ability and many of our children have certain health issues that are called pre-existing conditions, and they put them into a higher insurance capacity, and they have almost their whole check can go for medical care. That's not what I want, and it's not fair. So please, I just want everyone to understand, I'm not against the person working, but I grew up with parents who both had disabilities, and yet they had good medical insurance, so we were able to take care of ourselves. And I want that for our individuals too, not be penalized because they have a pre-existing health condition. That's anybody else has a question for Mary? Well, okay.
Just to respond to how do we know what's true, what's sensationalized on the news. What I don't know. I can only go based on what I'm hearing at IAC and what we're finding out. But what I will do, I'm going to follow up with Deborah with an email later today with some information. What I will also do is find out, I'll ask Winnie what she would recommend as the best source for accurate and current information, and share it with you guys so you can share it with the group, and hopefully that will try to sift through some of the rumors and what's actually happening. Okay.
Appreciate it very much.
This is Chris. Right. I got it, Deb. Deb. Let's keep the microphones a little. Not Mary, not you, Mary, but thank you, Mary. Thank you.
Okay,
thank
my
you
pleasure.
so much. And let me just move on to Lucy Amazy from Brooklyn DRO, which you're now unmuted, Lucy, so you are free to speak.
Thank you, Chris. Good morning, everyone. I'm sitting in for Nina this morning, who has a conflict So, and it's always a pleasure to go after IAC because, you know, some of my updates have already been mentioned. Regarding Roger Bearden, I just want to add that in the meantime, you know, when he leaves at the end of the month, the commissioner will be covering for him, and that OPWDD is looking forward to filling that position as quickly as possible. The next update has to do with the 2023-2027 strategic plan and information. The process and more information about that is on our website. There are also updates on the COVID-19 and guidance that can also be found on our website. On 12/15/2022, OPWDD issued a request for proposal for a comprehensive evaluation of its care coordination program as part of the American Rescue Plan Act, and that procurement will identify qualified consultants to evaluate the effectiveness of the care management services delivered through OPWDD 7 care coordination organizations, the CCOs. And the results of that evaluation will help OPWDD to understand how to improve the quality and the effectiveness of care coordination and the outcomes for people that receive care management services. We all know, and you're all aware of it too, that we continue to receive concerns, complaints about CCOs, and that's why this was put in place. We also, OPWDD also has a website that's dedicated to providing information about the many ARPA, the American Rescue Plan Act projects, and its related procurement initiatives that are on right now. So if anybody's interested, you can go to that website. It's just OPWDD/American Rescue Plan Act-ARPA, ARPA. We also have a dedicated mailbox for questions from stakeholders about any of those funded evaluations or inquiries on the projects that are going on right now. And those questions can be sent to the ARPA.inquiry@opwdd.ny.gov. On the housing updates, part of the American Rescue Plan Act, using part of that funding, OPWDD has issued a request for proposal that will solicit service providers to expand and to enhance supportive housing and family care opportunities. And the intent of that is to give individuals that are residing in supervised IRA the opportunities to transition to a more integrated setting through the use of technology and other types of support. That was already issued, and we received a good response. So we're going to be evaluating all the proposals that were submitted, and we'll be keeping you guys appraised. Additionally, OPWDD is seeking public comment on a new integrated community-based housing opportunity. And that project is known as Fulfill, Funding Opportunities for Independent Living Letters of Support. The Fulfill application will be used to request groups of housing subsidies for 4 or more individuals with IDD living together in an apartment style or a large single-family home or a group of co-located houses that are owned by an approved OPWDD provider. So at this point, we're seeking public comment on that. and the deadline has been extended. It was initially the end of this month, but it's now been extended to February 28th, 2023. And any comments can be submitted to the housing.initiative@opwedd.ny.gov. That is the update that I have. I don't know if anybody has questions.
Lucy, this is Chris. I'm going to remind everyone, if you have a question, please make sure, guys, that you, oh, good. Can you please raise your hand or please put your questions in the chat at this time also. Lucy, you do have a question in the private section chat, which I'm just going to read it what I have.
Okay.
And I'm just going to, because I'll make it easier for it. They just like to keep it private, and I can see everything from here. The concern is right now, they've been trying to reach the DDRO, and the question they're having is they're not getting anything back for at least 2 to 3 weeks. And it's not just phone calls, and it's not just emails. It's both. Did you catch what I said?
I can, whoever it is can follow up with me, and I can try to find out. I mean, is that from one person, or is this something that's ongoing? Because I can tell you that
it's ongoing. It's ongoing.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Who are they? Are they reaching out to specific people, or because our staff, as you may well, as you're aware, even though we're still telecommuting 2 days a week, they're required to be in the office 3 times a week, and they're supposed to be responding to their email as well as responding to their phone messages. If there's anything that I can follow up with, you know, just they want to send me that information, I can follow up with that specifically. But I'll take it back. I'll take that feedback back as well.
Yes. Lucy, and before I get to the hand raise, guys, I will get back to you in a minute. Let me finish this question. So let me get to the last question. Lucy, they're thanking you for this update. The only question they're asking is there any new changes in the Brooklyn DDRO that we should know?
So I believe that I've mentioned that before. We're not necessarily doing Brooklyn DDRO. Everything is regionalized. So we're regionalized. So that means that, you know, the functions are based on a regional process. For instance, there's no longer a Brooklyn DDRO front door, even though we still have a front door intake line, but where all of the front door processes are under one leadership. And the same thing for eligibility. So if you have questions about eligibility, send us the question, and it's going to be addressed as a regional question, because we have a regional lead who may not necessarily be in Brooklyn. And that's why I was asking specifically. However, those front door information line that we have, they're still in operation, and we still have people that are manning them and responding to calls immediately. And if you leave a message, you should be able to get a return back as soon as possible, latest within 2 days. Yeah. So I don't know if that answers the question.
It must be. Lucy, we have now 2 regular questions. I know one person raised their hand was Sandy Naper. And then Sandy, you also wrote. So I want to know which one you want to do, the question reading or you want to say it?
I could just say it. I know, Lucy, that you referred to. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I just said hi.
Oh, hi, Lucy. How are you?
That's what I heard.
Thank you.
You refer to a lot of links in your report. If you could please put them in the chat, I would really appreciate it.
Okay. Can do that.
Laurie Rosenfeld, do you want to say your question on the mic, or you want to read, or you want me to read it? Please unmute yourself if you want to.
Hi, you can read it, I guess. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lucy.
Good morning. Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Laurie. Just tell us what the issue is. Okay.
Okay, so, yeah, I just like to know who we can contact regarding care coordination. I'll say ACA in particular. I know a few issues that are going on with some of the care coordinators, and I just need not for myself, but also for a couple of family members, just a specific person that we can maybe contact. That was just what I was asking.
So I'm going to put that in the chat. What we actually have, and also too, we're also, as I said, we have regional functions. And for the CCOs, they have a care coordination support team. So every borough has someone that's supposed to be, that, you know, anyone can reach out to regarding a care coordination concern in every borough. And the supervisor of that unit is Henry Njibe at this minute. However, we're also like in the process of trying to kind of make changes to our organizational chart. So I don't want to give you very soon there's going to be additional updates. So I want to wait for that update, and then, you know, when those changes have been made, I can send that information to Chris. But in the meantime, I'm going to put a name in the chat that you can reach out to. Well, I guess you can still reach out to Henry for the time being, but that's going to be changing very soon. We also have like an org chat that when it's being, the changes are kind of, you know, currently being made, but when that's been finalized, I'll send it to Chris and to Deborah. Perhaps they can send it to everyone, so that this way on specific units and functions, if you have questions or concerns, there are people that you can reach out to directly. All right.
Laurie, we can hear you.
Okay, yes, I unmuted myself. Yeah, thank you, Lucy. I appreciate it. Whatever information you can provide. Thank you.
Before I go to the next speaker, I need to remind that person, do not unmute yourself until I call your name, please. Let's show some respect and courtesy, because we can hear the words that someone is saying. And I'm going to remind people, we do not need to hear bad words in that. So I am going to remind that. Jenny from ACA would like to answer that question also combinedly. Can she unmute herself now, please? Thank you. Jenny, nothing, we cannot hear anything coming out of you. You're playing with the mute button. There you go.
I wasn't playing with the mute button. I am from Advanced Care Alliance, and I can provide the contact information for the people you're trying to reach at Advanced Care Alliance. If you're trying to reach maybe a care manager or supervisor, my number will be in the chat. You can reach out to me, and I can forward you to the people that can help you.
Excuse me, this is Deborah Greif, the chair of the advisory. Jenny, I want to bring up a point that we've had as parents. Many times my families have made contacts to you and the other people who represent the CCOs. There are times you are very rough on the parents, and I'm not personally saying you, but I do know for a fact that there are times when parents are so frustrated that they need the help and support, and I'm asking you to understand the frustrations they have too. And what I'd appreciate for ACA, Care Design, as well as Tri-County, please be patient with us. We families are not just only, excuse me, I'm not done. And whoever's speaking, I want muted. Thank you. Our families have children with developmental disabilities. It is not an easy task. Some of us have to care for more than one family member or families that may have a developmental disability or may have mental health issues too. And there are other health. So when you hear the frustration, you hear the strain in their voice or they're yelling, please help figure a way to help them calm down and understand what they are going through. Not because I'm talking now as a parent, besides the chair. I do know how hard it is. So please, please help them and try to understand the frustrations they have when they have tried to call their care coordinator. They try to call the supervisor and nobody calls them back. And they have a crisis on their hands. Please understand that. I am not paid for crisis.
Chair, we do have to move on. We have some other hands up, and I want to make sure we get that, please.
But I just wanted this point put out.
Okay, it's duty noted. We do have to move on. Mary from IEC, you had your hand up.
I did. I just spoke to the person who, was asking about contacts for CCO concerns. The 3 downstate CCOs are IAC members, and, we meet with them on a regular basis. All 3 of them have, if you go to their websites, have like a customer service and chain of command information on their websites. They encourage people to please reach out, to voice concerns. Also, I know many of the care managers across the 3 agencies, in their email signature will also include the names of their supervisors in the event there's something urgent. So, I'm not disputing that there's confusion and frustration at times, but I would just encourage people to use the resources that each of the CCOs is asking families and providers to use.
Additionally, family members can also reach out to the DDRO. I mean, I did put Henry's information there, but you can reach out to any one of us. Even if you reach out to someone who is not over that unit, they will direct your call to the appropriate person, and we can follow up with you as well.
Right. And we often focus on the DSP work crisis, staffing crisis, and my understanding from speaking with some of the CCOs is that, they also are downstaffed and trying to fill vacancies as well. So, not making any excuses, but just trying to give some insight that they also are struggling with ensuring they have enough care managers to cover everyone's needs.
I agree with you, because that's one thing I have said in the meetings in the past. I know Deborah and Joyce and I said that, but at the same time, if they're that short, we need to work together to help and try to calm the families. But we need everyone to work together. We don't need to go violent. If you want to get something done, we have to work together. That's why Advocate is there for, and I've been doing that for many years on that. But I do want to thank both of you. There is one more hand raised. Sandy, you had a second question?
No, Chris, I'm fine. Thank you.
At this time, there is no more other questions in the chat unless somebody did pump something in, which I'm going to say no at this moment. Just let Lucy put the information. Mary just put her information. And actually, I'm incorrect. There is one more question. Mary and Lucy, if you get a chance, it's in the regular chat. People that have issues with CCOs can also reach out to the DRNY for advocate assistance. That is correct as well as they can also let us know as well. As I said before, we work as a team on all councils, and we still keep advocating to help families with people with disabilities in the borough of Brooklyn. So that's the only question, and that's it from that point. Lucy, anything else you want to add, or Mary?
Nothing else for me. Thank you.
Mary?
No, I'm Thank you for, I've taken too much time already, so thank you for having me.
Hey, this is a strong meeting. We got to start the 2023 with a bang. Okay, now it's time for Deborah Greif, her chairperson report. Deborah?
I'm ready. Well, again, good morning, everybody. First, anyone who celebrates the Happy Lunar New Year, Gongge Fachoy, and we hope it will be a very prosperous year for everyone. The advisory council knows we're a little sad that we will be losing Roger Bearden from Albany. He has always been a big help to us. When we email him, he does get back or help find someone who can help us. So I want this on public record. We are thanking Roger Bearden for his assistance through New York State's OPWDD. Now, also, I want to thank you, Lucy, as well as Mary, for that important information. And yes, sometimes it seems that there's issues with the mute button, but it is difficult at times because sometimes it freezes. So let's be patient with everybody. But the advisory council is working with the other 18 councils. We're trying to make sure that the new ADM for reimbursement, the care coordinators as well as the families understand it. We know it's a new process. It's not easy. If you're having problems and you do contact the Family Support and Reimbursement Coordinator for Brooklyn, Ms. Angela Blades, first, please be fair to her. She didn't write these changes. It was done through Albany. Please also CC the advisory council because we're trying to keep, all the councils are keeping a date. They want data because we want to make sure that the reimbursement program, which is one of the most important programs from family support, is going through well. We're concerned. We just want to make sure everything's working. If families are also having, as Christopher said, you're having issues with the care coordinator and you're having trouble reaching, please email us. You have our email. It's I'm not going to go through, but you have it. And we also want everybody to be aware that we know you all cannot make it maybe up to lobby day. I'm talking just families and even the professionals. Please, if you can't physically also go to the office of the elected official, they do have emails, addresses. They're on all social medias. So whatever social media platform you use, contact them for positive things as well as there's issue. Especially let them know how important it is for our direct care professionals, our DPs, to be paid correctly. Also, we need to advocate for them to give the correct amount of funding, not to take away for the early intervention, is also preschool and our special education, the schools that are in the District 75 that do help our children and families. Please let all your elected officials know you live in their district. Let them know you're a voter. You don't have to tell them a party. That is your own private business, and that is your decision. And I respect everybody's decision. But the elected officials need to know that we are their constituents and that we take this seriously. Please forward them the information from the advisory council. Please see that their staff participates in our meetings. It is very important for them to know too. I also hope and pray that we all stay healthy. I'm going to keep this short, but also if you have issues with housing, you have issues with possible evictions, please let us know, as well as the Brooklyn DDRO. They are very willing to help us to the best of their abilities. As you know, it's a very scary process, but there are people that can help and support you to the best way possible. So I want to also thank everyone. Also, I want to thank everybody for their very special well wishes for Christopher. He will be getting better as he is getting all the medical help and support. And all your prayers have been very helpful because he's doing much better every day. But as you see, I'm going to ask everybody also, please attend not only the advisory councils, our joint meeting. Please also go to the local subcommittee subcommittees for the Brooklyn DD Council. Also, when we're only going to do a few outreaches, please. We will let you know when. And in reference for the Family Support Fair, please let us know if you want to volunteer to help. We don't have a date now. And no, we're not getting, but remember, COVID can stop meeting in person. And I'm also encouraging everyone to go to their, or whatever area you live or work in, go to the local community boards, especially if you know they're online. The same with the precinct councils. If you're a member of any civic organizations, please go and let them know about us. As well as please so families who don't be surprised. Sometimes OPWDD, the Brooklyn DD Council, the Advisory Council, we're one of the best kept secrets because I've been told by so many people, I didn't know you existed. And yes, we do exist. And please also for the bus redesign, yes, it'll be repeated again. Please participate. Everybody's opinion counts and matters. And also when it comes to you have issues and you say, oh, they don't get back to you right away. Let me tell you, there's more need than we have staff for services. And that includes not just OPWDD, that includes the police department, fire department, transit, the enforcements for the different areas. So please, let's all work together and let's document everything and we can all work together to improve our service system. With that, does anyone have any questions for me?
Okay, Madam Chair, just letting you know that Angela Blake did put her information into the chat. So everyone, please, everyone, and I'm going to, because I want to speed up a little bit because we are a little behind. I want to catch up because the subcommittee report is right behind you and Rose on yours. So I want to get your attention on that one. And Rose, get ready. It is extremely important that you guys please, and I think Lucy will agree with me and Angela will agree with me, show some courtesy to the coordinators because it is very important on that. And if the information is available, and guys, to answer everyone's questions earlier, the information is on the website and it's working on the phones, tablets, and computers. There is nothing wrong with the Advisory Council's website. I know who goes on. I know from any person who's been on and off, and I definitely know who has a virus in their system because they will not let you on unless you have viruses. And whoever's on muting, please mute yourself because whatever words you guys say, I don't want to have to hear those cursing words. And it's whoever does it, please, I remind you for this every time. Have the courtesy when someone speaks. If you need to identify yourself, please put your hand raised up or the chat. That's why we have the devices for a reason. So I'm reminding everyone, please, let's do our part to keep the meetings on, keep our meetings strong, keep our meetings tough. Lucy, do you have something you want to add? You're still on.
No, nothing. Thank you.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay. At this moment, since no one else has a question in the chat, I'm just going to double check quickly. Because everyone's putting their information into the chat, which I thank them so much. Yeah, and I'm going to remind people who's putting their information in the chat, hold on to announcements because we will be doing that soon. Let's start with this. As right now, Brian could not be with us and Joyce is at another meeting, so I will do. I'm going to just say we're up to the subcommittee reports, and as Deborah said it, Joyce has said it. If you're interested to want to do the Family Support Fair, please email to Joyce Levin, the Advisory Council, and I will forward it to Joyce Levin and Brian so we can then set up a routine. Now, I will remind everyone, please, guys, that if we do get volunteers, we'll do the fair. If not, I'm sorry. We cannot, I do a lot, Debbie does a lot, Joyce does a lot, Brian does a lot. But at the same time, we have to work as a team. And I have said this word, team. So all that information about the subcommittee, it's on the website. Guys, it's always updated, and I will remind you that again in a little bit. But at this time, Rose Sal, are you here? The gorgeous and beautiful Rose who always keeps the red rose with me.
Hi, Chris. Hi.
And and Rose, you did hear me when I said earlier, thank you for your
Of
backup.
course. We work together as a
Yes.
team, like you said earlier, right? Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy to be on the call. It's so good to, even though I cannot see everyone's faces, but I see a lot of names. Happy to have to see 33. Sorry,
What happened,
I'm
Rose?
sorry. I think I was speaking and I was muted. Hi, everyone. Again, Happy New Year. Happy to see all the names on the calls, although I cannot see all the faces. Lucy, I'm so glad to hear from you. Happy New Year. So I just wanted to quickly give some fabulous announcement. The Family and Provider Information Committee for Brooklyn has been going strong. Myself and Deborah and Chris have been, running the meeting. I encourage you to encourage any family members that you know, and if you are on this call as a provider, if you know other providers, please encourage them to get on the call. We share a lot of resources with families as well as providers. Our last meeting was on January 11th, and we had a presenter from AHRC, and she talks about, support and caregiving for parents with children with disabilities. It was a really great presentation. And our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, February 8th, and we're going to have Ivan Rodriguez from Prime Home Health Services also come to our call to talk about services for family that is available. So I encourage you to invite anyone. There are supports out there for you, and I am also working on our March meeting to have someone from ACA to present, and I will have that information on our next meeting to confirm that the person will be there. So we are also getting CCOs on our meeting to come in and give you information, so family, know the point person that they can contact, right? I know it can be overwhelming. There's a lot going on. We are all short staffed. It is challenges right now on all levels, the provider level, the CCO levels, so we are all we are all in this together to support you. So we will have some information available for you as well on our next meeting regarding CCOs. Anyone have any questions? That's about it for my.
Rose, just one little added bonus for you. She's also going to be talking about not just, from the young, but also senior
Correct.
level
Yes.
as well.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
I'm glad you let me save the good stuff. We have been, and just to let Lucy and Mary know, because our AIC has been aware of this, because this was in the other boroughs. We are already in the ball already on that. And Joyce has told me to make sure I said that. So I know Deborah agreed with me, but we are going to make it clear to everyone. This committee is for anyone to attend. So everyone who's on this screen or hears my voice, show up. The code is right there. Not that hard to get on. And let me tell you, it's a good time to do this, because how can we solve a problem or solve a puzzle if we don't know? We're not the guessing game. So please, guys, please attend. This will be a great opportunity to show up on that day. And just letting you know, if you missed the meeting last month, this past one, it's on the website recording. Just go down. It says if you missed the meeting, there you go. You got all the meetings, all the way to the greatest hits of Rose and Deborah Grice show. See, you still got a sense of humor.
Thank you very much, Chris. But everybody, we need your participation. It is extremely important. We want to make sure that if you, the agencies, whether you're a CCO or another one, are having issues, we need to know so we can all advocate as a team. So please come to these meetings. We try to get speakers that can help us with different services and issues that we have. And Rose, you're a great chair. I enjoy being with you.
Likewise, Deb. We make a great team.
Yes. Yes, we do.
And does everyone know, please attend. You see the date there. So I am going to now move on to our next subcommittee. I don't know if they're here, the transition committee. Oops, sorry. No, actually, I did it correct. But before I do that, just to remind everyone, please put this on your calendar. The next joint meeting is February 15th and March 15th. They are the third Wednesday. Please, guys, the schedule is on the website. I'm going to say it so many times so it's in the mind. Please. The information is always updated every week. So let's make it life easy. Don't stress yourself. Don't give a hana. Just relax. Transition Committee has moved their meeting to tomorrow. So if anyone wants to attend, this is their link.
And the co-chairs are Heather Leafland and Pilar Jones. Heather is at a District 75 transition coordinator, and Pilar is the education liaison from ahrc.org. Please attend. It is extremely important that you let them know that if you need to hear what is going on, because you know what? Whether you have children or your children are getting close to transitioning out of the Department of Ed, you need to know, and they need to know, so we can advocate to make sure everyone gets the right services they need so they don't sit home. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions on these subcommittees? And I'm checking the chat, so give me a second. Okay, Mary just said she said to reach out. Thank you, Mary. I will, and I will say that for the record. Okay, since no one else has any questions, I'm going to move on to my report, and Deborah's going to share some of it with me. But before I do that to everyone, I want to wish everyone a happy Lunar New Year. Gon Hei Fa Choi. It's the year of the rabbit, so it's a lot of hopping around, and which we're actually doing today is hopping around to getting things accomplished. So I want to wish all the Asian community, Gon Hei Fa Choi, may health and luck be with me and with you guys and everyone.
Happiness, health, and luck always be with me, you, and all of us.
Yeah, exactly. So let me move on to update news. Some of us already discussed some stuff, but I do want to remind everyone, as you are aware, that thank God we have a state that knows how to show new maps of districts. Please, everyone, that information is available on our news update page on the website. And just want to remind everyone, the districts right now is coming up is assembly. So some of your assembly districts might be changed, but it's not finalized. There is a public hearing coming up. Please make sure you try to attend or send your comments to them. Again, the information's on the website, because if I put all this information now, we'll be here until next year, and I don't want to do that. So I just want everyone to know. Now, there was some questions I want to remind everyone. It is your choice if you want to wear a mask on the bus or subway. Masks are still optional, so it is your choice. But I remind everyone, in hospitals, you have to wear them. But I will remind everyone, please be careful what kind of mask you wear, because some masks are being reported irritating asthma lungs. So please be careful. As you are aware, we had 300 in attendance on our Omni Reduced Fare presentation. And let me repeat this again, 300. Now, Madam Chairperson, did you see that number?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, and I was very pleased and happy about it. I'm very glad everybody attended.
And I'm going to ask someone else. Carrie Banks, did you see that number?
I saw that number, Chris, and it was great. And Inclusive Service was so happy to be able to support that event. It was awesome, and we all learned a lot here too. Well done.
Yes,
and Carrie, as chair of the advisory, I thank you for your help and support. I love when we can work together as a team. We wish we could have done everything in person, but because of impending bad weather, we didn't want anyone getting caught. But thank you, Carrie. It was great.
And just to want everyone know, and I do want to thank everyone, and I do want to thank the DD Council, OPWDD, if you're still there, Lucy or Angela, and I know Janet Davis can hear me. Thank you, because some of your, not your staff, but the individual that staff handle, they were there. We didn't just have Brooklyn, guys. We had New York. And I'm going to say New York as a period. So the information, it was fantastic. So everyone, in case you did miss it, don't get yourself upset. You can always invite them again. I will send you that information in just a minute. Let me just say this. If you want to see the video or get some information, visit our website and go into the transportation page. And that's including the Brooklyn redesign as well. But again, I want to thank everyone who did attend. 300. And let me tell you something. It's such amazing how everyone links their groups together because the numbers are easier and then you have a better control of it. And everyone, I always reminded people that check your systems before you go on, and they all did. We ran perfect, beautiful, strong. And that's the way I love it. Love it, love it. So that's one good news. Now, I'm going to move. Yeah, as you see flashing, yes. Now, if you want them to come to you guys, that's still in person or virtual, that's their email. Or you can send them a letter. The person you'll be speaking to is the famous Sarah Berry. And sometimes the government relation representative from the MTA will attend as well because they want to make sure everything goes well, which they always trust us, so I don't have to worry. We can all sleep. So that is their information. Please, everyone, let's get everyone up to date and get the real facts. As I remind you earlier, I did say the press does not give the right facts. They like to scare people. If you want the facts, check with me. And I will tell you the truth, so help me God. And that's why I'm wearing a Grand Central Madison shirt today. And I will get to that in a few minutes. But let's move on. Now, as Deborah said this, and I do want to say it's good news and some sad news. Well, not sad news, bad news. There is no cuts. So I want to get anyone who says the word C-U-T, put soap in your mouth, please, because that's a dirty word. It's called, this is only a draft. So I'm going to repeat it 1,000,000 times. It's a draft, not finalized yet. But I will say this. Everyone who puts their questions and comments in, let me tell you, we're taking this seriously. As you saw, DOT was here. He's taking it seriously because of the Bronx mistakes that came up. And it wasn't from MTA. It wasn't from DOT. It was lack of communication. We need to increase the outreaching very high on all around. And making this clear, it's a draft to make sure that everyone can get to a bus. You know, sooner or later, if everyone likes to go into the Met games, there might be a way you don't have to take the train there. You can actually take the B7 that will go into Wychwood as a proposal and meet the Q50, which will go to Mets Willis Point on part of the draft. So you think about it. I can get to the Mets game. Woohoo! So I have another way of getting there. So please go to that link. Yesterday was Community Work District 5. You can attend any one of those. If you can't make the 6:31, there's a 7:31. And don't worry, guys. If you miss it, don't worry. There's still got time. Don't worry, Argentina. Relax. Smile. Hey, I'm in a good mood. Maybe I have a mouth acting, but I'm still going to do what I got to do. So please. Now, let me give you some good news because I love giving holiday gifts out. And just letting you know, these are the list of stations that have been passed by the MTA board. Now, some of us, I did not put color yellow on it because I didn't want to start. But right now, Loma and Metropolitan and Grand Street are almost done. So I know our first vice chair of the advisory is going to go, woohoo! I already know that already. And Carrie is also going to be happy soon, not far from her station. But it's not just that station. Lucy and Angela are going to be very happy with me with the Junior Street being built, also an elevator. So that means you can transfer from the L to the 3 train. So anyone that's coming from Canarsie don't need to take the 17 bus. They can just take the L to the 3. And look, you're already at Crown Heights, faster than the 17. So, and these are the stations right now that has passed. And some stations are being worked on, which already are. Kings Highway on the F, a lot of these. And Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens also has this. So this information is on the website. Up to date. If you need a copy of it, just email me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Now, another surprise is the new, I like to report, because this is part of the DD councils, and I will say the word DD council and advisory council, a big award on this. Years ago, when we do the city budget, we got this done, working with the city on this, and it has been duly noted in there. As you see, we're going to be starting now. The reduced fuel vehicles will still be with us, but now we have additional bonus. I'd like to report the customer service centers will be opening early in 2023. Some of the stations will have them in Brooklyn in the first one. Then there'll be the second one. Now, these can be added additional more. We don't know, or they might move them. But there is no changes on the reduced fuel vehicles at this time. And I'm going to say this because it is too early and too worryiness. We don't have to worry. Like right now, Coney Island, right now, everyone's happy, so I don't have to worry. Atlantic Barclay will say, oh, God bless America. And this is not just MetroCard, this will be Omni as well. So you don't have to worry too much on this. These are the stations right now. And I want to remind everyone, all this information is on our website, on the Advisory Council's website, as we're Brooklyn Tough, and I do my little wingy, but I remind everyone, please, if you want to speak to Deborah or me, you can always call that number. And Ann Menino does check the voice messages, but if you don't speak clear or slowly, we cannot return your calls on this. So it is very important, everyone, to please let's do our part on this. Now, one thing before I proceed to the next page. Yes, Grand Central Madison was open. Yes, I was there early this morning. So if you see me looking a little, I was there already doing the final test. And I make it back. Let's just say I got back like you never knew I left. But it is open. They are running the shuttle train. The city ticket is still $5. Will still go in effect from Jamaica to Grand Central Madison or wherever you are in the boroughs. Now, if you're going from Queens to the Bronx, or say Brooklyn to Queens to Manhattan to the Bronx, it's called a combo ticket, which I'll have more information right now, but it is available on the website. It's called an $8 ticket. So it is called a combo ticket. So $4 go to Long Island Railroad, $4 go to Metro North. You're getting a deal. And that will be something coming up soon. So that's something more surprises will come in. Now, does anyone have any questions on my report? Because I can smell it from here. And I'm just going to look at my side here. Sometimes you guys always have questions later on, but I'd like to hear some questions if anyone has any questions.
I don't think we have any questions because I think you did a very clear, concise report.
Hold on one second. No, just want to make sure. Okay. Before I proceed, because before we do announcements, everyone, I do want to make sure our elected official reps, if they want to say anything, and I'm going to help him out. I'm going to unmute him. We do have someone from the Assembly office. Does he want to say a few words? If anyone has an announcement, please have your hands ready.
If you have announcements, please raise your hand through the reactions. Thank you.
Let me just look. I just had them. Hold on. Before I do that, Edmund, do you have anything you want to add in?
No, I just want to say thank you, and just realize that you're not feeling well, but you are functioning, rocking as always. I must say thank you, and wishing you the very best, and get well soon. And then also thanking everyone on the call today for the amazing work that you're doing. I decided to stay around and just listen to the conversation, and trust me, I really enjoyed.
And you're always welcome to come to the meetings.
I will.
And I do want to say that to everyone. Any elected official, because I know this is recorded, I'm going to say this for the record. We're not the other boroughs. We're Brooklyn. As Marty says, you're all welcome, so you can get the information. How can we work together? This is a way of doing it. Teamwork is the key.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate very much.
Edmund, there is a question. Can you please put your information again on the chat, please? Somebody asked and they misplaced it because there's a lot of people putting stuff in the chat.
Sure, I will do that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Edmund. Okay, I just want to make one. I'm going to do something quick. Don't worry, I didn't forget the others.
Go ahead.
What Matthew from YI just asked. You can always get information from the YI link. It's on the chat as well as It's on our website. So that's from Matthew. And I know that I saw Doris Kahn from New York State Institute on Disabilities. And I said, your hand was raised. Are you there still, Doris?
Yes, she is. Gonna unmute.
Hi. Happy New Year, everyone, and thank you to all the speakers. My name is Doris Kahn. I'm the outreach coordinator for New York State Institute on Disability. We're a family support agency. NYSID now has openings for psychological and psychosocial evaluations for non-Medicaid individuals who want to obtain OPWDD eligibility. We service the boroughs of Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, and Staten Island. For more information, contact esunshine@nicidinc.org, or you can call Elizabeth at 917-699-6457. NYSID also offers crisis management services for families in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens. You can contact Juliet Hawkins at 917-524-4856, or you can email Juliet at jhawkins@nicidinc.org. NYSID also offers reimbursement for goods and services for individuals who live within the 5 boroughs. Contact is Jackie Tripodi at 929-202-1115, or you can email her at jtripodi@nicidinc.org. NYSID also has tickets to venues. We can supply a list of venues that we have tickets for. And for individuals living in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens, you can contact Sarah Alton for the list and application, 718-494-6457, or you can email her salton@nicidinc.org. NYSID also has free transportation for medical appointments for individuals who are OPWDD eligible. We supply this service for families that live in the Brooklyn, Bronx, and Staten Island. Contact John O'Grady at 917-747-9424, or you can email him jogrady@nicidinc.org. I put all this information in the chat, the names and phone numbers and email addresses. Thank you.
And thank you, but I want to add one more thing that was left out. It can happen. You must be, to get family support services, you must be living at home. The individual has to live at home with their family. They cannot be in a group residence. And if you have self-direction, you need to talk to your broker for it, because you may be able to participate, you may not. That's not my ruling. That's the way it's been. So please check with your fiscal broker, and also you can check with the Brooklyn DDRO for information about that. So remember, family support services for individuals living at home. Thank you again.
I just want to mention that that for reimbursement, it's not the NYSID application, it's the OPWDD.
Yes, it's the OPWDD new update reimbursement.
I didn't know it's called. But
right. A lot of people might have an old application and it says reimbursement on it. You have to have a separate for reimbursement, right?
And if you have issues and you can't get a hold of either Jackie or stuff, you can email Angela Blade, the Brooklyn Family Support Reimbursement Coordinator, as well as the Family Support Coordinator. And she will let you know if there's anything that has to be fixed. I said anything more?
Hold on a second, guys. This is Chris. Deborah, can you mute for a second? Janet Davis, you are unmuting yourself. Do you want to add something in?
Yes, I'd like to add something, guys. For family support services, the individual must live full time with the family. There's been some issues brought up recently where someone may be. Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can
Okay.
hear you loud and clear, so clearly. I can hear it from the other end of the earth. I just put
Okay.
my
So
means I agree with you.
Okay, so they have to live with their families full time. There have been some issues recently where someone would be in a residential school and come home for the summer months or come home intermittently in the year. They are not able to use family support services. I just want to make that clear. So it has to be living with families full time. That's it.
Thank you for that clarification. We appreciate it tremendously.
Yeah, don't worry, Janet. I know you're ready. I was ready for you because I know I can smell it, and I still sense it in the force and the Schwartz.
Okay. I know that Sandy Naper is, I believe, is next.
Hold on. Wrong. It's Carrie
Sorry.
Banks.
I'm sorry, Carrie.
Then it's Sandy. Come on. I might still have this issue, but I still have it tapped.
Well, thank you both. Sorry, Sandy. I'll be brief. So Inclusive Services at Brooklyn Public Library is excited to announce that we're going to be focusing this year on developing some programs for young adults, teens and young adults with disabilities. So keep an eye out for that. Our first one will be on March 4th at the Brooklyn Heights Library, and that's an arts and crafts program with Keen, and Keen will have pair individuals with disabilities and volunteers without disabilities to work on all different kinds of craft projects. That's for people ages 13 to 21. We're going to be offering drumming lessons, free drumming lessons at the Saratoga Library starting this summer. And then on March 14th, we've got a program where we're partnering with Best Buddies, and it's in the evening at Central, and it will be an opportunity for individuals with developmental disabilities to practice their public speaking skills and to learn about speaking in front of a group like this one or many others. So keep an eye out for those. I've put them in the chat. I'll put my contact information in the chat. But and finally, we're in the process of hiring a librarian to specifically work with teens and young adults with disabilities. So if you have any questions, I'll put my information in the chat, but come and join us. We're very excited to be expanding in this way at this time. Thank you all.
Not so fast, Ms. Banks. There's still a question for you. Everyone's been asking me this question, and I'm going to say it in a different way. Any new updates of no, everyone's been going back in-person library stuff. Any new changes in the library we should know?
Not particularly. The library is open in person, and we are doing pretty much everything that we did before the pandemic, with a few exceptions, not many. And those exceptions depend on our partnering agencies, not on us. So we are very excited to be back. There's a great concert, for example, at the Central Library this evening. And so our cultural, our literacy programs, our adult learning programs, our services for immigrants, our outreach to people living in transitional housing. This is all back online, and no, not back online, back in person. And we are very, very excited about that. The only change sort of on the horizon is the budget. And we are looking at some fairly significant budget cuts as things stand right now. But we're hoping that with the support of City Council, we can go forward without having to cut staff and services. And there is something new or that's expanded recently, and that's your ability to borrow. I'm doing quotes. I might know my video is bad. I'm doing air quotes, but to be able to borrow meeting space.
No, you're doing it correct. You're doing it correct. I can understand you.
Okay, good. To be able to, so the public has more ability now to borrow meeting space at almost all of our libraries. You can do that online or by calling your local library that you're interested in getting meeting space for. Usually it's for half an hour, but some places you can borrow space for longer. And if you want to do it for an event for individuals with disabilities, let me know and I can make that process a little easier, and we can schedule further out in advance. So, so that's new. But we really are excited to be back in person. Please come back to the library. Please bring your individuals back to the library, and please let them know to come on their own. We want to make sure that everybody knows we are fully back and open. And thanks so much for asking that question, Chris.
You know I'm going to put that in there because the library is very important, and everyone knows this is the time we need to say something to our elected officials. And it doesn't matter if they're city, state, or federal. It don't matter who they are. When they got into that seat, they got to wear the shoes. And they don't want to wear my shoes because my shoes will do a clown dance. That's all I'm going to say that way.
You've got big shoes, Chris. I wouldn't dream of filling them.
Thank you for saying that. One main thing for me is, Carrie, if you have that information, can you please send it to us? Because then I can put that as a news update page so it gets the attention to not just the elected officials, but the other parents that keep advocating in other areas in Brooklyn.
Which information is that, Chris?
The budget.
About the budget. Okay.
For the library.
I can't do that on my own.
Okay, it's the budget.
But I will.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm going to make it easier because I know the right way to say it.
Ah.
Please forward your library's link for their advocacy. There is, and I do know that because I used to be the chair in my community board of the library, and we do know ways of that's how they do it. So please forward the liaison's contact information for us so we can forward it.
Okay.
That is the way it has to be done. You're welcome,
Thank
Carrie.
you. All right, and I will let you go back, and I'll put my information in chat momentarily.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sandy neighbor.
You there, Sandy?
Hi, everybody. Hi, my name is Sandy Naper. I'm with the Family Connect team at ADAPT Community Network, and we have 3 exciting workshops coming up. They're all on Thursdays, and we provide Cantonese and Spanish translation for all of them. The first one is coming up a week from tomorrow. It'll be February 2nd from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And the topic is the evaluation process in children with ASD. Dr. Michelle Gornstein will be our speaker. The next one coming up will be also on a Thursday. It's February 9th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. The topic will be psychiatric medications in autism, and Dr. Melissa Nishwala, who is a child and adolescent psychiatrist, she will be our speaker. And the next one will be Thursday, February 16th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. The topic is feeding and sensory issues in early childhood, the picky eater. And Harla Rudolph, who is a speech pathologist, she'll be our speaker. To register, we have direct links in the chat that I put in earlier, so you can just click on the links to register, or you can email familyconnect@adaptcommunitynetwork.org or call 718-436-7979, extension 704. Thanks, everyone. I hope you'll all attend. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Sandy. Rosal, do you have an announcement?
No, Chris, no announcements.
Nothing new in the house world? Nothing new, no opening services?
Nothing's all the same. No announcements. No new announcements.
But it's good to hear your voice anyway.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I'm going to pick on the next person, Paola, by Poverty Demands.
Paola, if she's able to find. If not.
No. It's working. Paola, I know you're there.
It's up to you, Paola.
Because there is a question.
Yeah, and it's still here. I just wrote that I don't need to announce again New York lawyers, but since you call me out, you have a question. I'm willing to see what the question is. I have an answer for your question.
Well, first of all, there are 2 questions. One, let's be serious on this one. Can you please put your information into the chat, who they should be contacting? It doesn't matter who, but the main number and your information goes in the chat, please.
Sure, I'll do that right now. Again, yes.
And second question is a lot. We've been receiving a lot of compliments from you about you. And actually, I'm serious because you did help a group, which I'm not going to mention their name here because I made a promise not to say it. But your organization helped them, and because of that, a lot of them are actually getting the help they need. And it's not from our borough; it was from another borough. So I'm just going to say it that way.
Great, thank you. I'm glad to hear that people are taking the time to to respond and to. I mean, we usually are out here to help. You guys know that I've been working with this population for a long time, and I mean, it's not like people have to call us to thank us, but it's nice when they do that because that for us means a lot. It means a lot that people appreciate the work that we're doing out there, and we always looking for different ways to support people with disabilities in whatever we can. So keep the cold coming.
Yes, but that's what it's called. No, not the cold. Keep the heat up and keep the advocating and working as a team together. That's why we're in New York.
Keep the calls up, not cold. Calls.
Calls. I heard, but I'm just saying.
Yes, and we thank you and I thank everybody who keeps contacting Paula through the New York Lawyers for Public Interest. Please let it keep. If you have you need help, let us know. We'll be very happy to help you connect if you're having issues getting through. And thank you again, Paula.
Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Let me get Alex from Life Adjustment Center. Do you have an announcement? Please unmute yourself. And I'm going to remind people, if you have announcements, please raise your hand.
No announcement here.
Okay. But can you explain to me, do you have any information you want us to put into the chat, or you're going to email us the information?
No information, but I can put my contact information in the chat for anybody who wants to reach me.
Thank you. Billy from PATAS, do you have an announcement?
Hi, Chris. No announcements.
No announcements. That's it. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gloria, do you have an announcement?
Hi, good morning, everyone. So I'm from Adapt Community Network, and the announcements are we have openings in all our programs. And as you guys may know, we have a lot of funds for family reimbursement. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you, Gloria. Jennifer. Jennifer from ACE.
Jennifer from ACA, do you have anything you need to announce? And if you're still here, please put the contact information also for the intake, as well as if the family has an emergency. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Okay, we have a hand raised. Can someone, Billy, you can unmute yourself. Your hand's up.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I want to ask Gloria a question, if possible, because she says that ADAPT has a lot of family reimbursement available.
Permission granted.
Thank you. Just wondering, like how much, like how intricate is it to get the family reimbursement? Because the last publication I saw from OPWDD, it said that you needed medical justification and clinical justification just to get like clothing or anything like that.
Billy, before you go on, that is very true. It doesn't matter how much funds they have. It is that you have to have the correct justification now for why you need that family support reimbursement. And that is only for children who are living children. And when I'm saying from birth to, they could be 60 years old, living home full time with their families. There is no changes on how to fill out the form. It has to be followed by the rules that OPWDD has put out. It is on our website as well as the OPWDD website. So it doesn't matter how much funding they have. It has to be able to be okayed and authorized by OPWDD.
Thank you,
Does
Deborah.
that answer you? Does that answer?
Fair answer. Fair answer. I was hoping there would be a loophole, though.
No,
Janet
I
Davis,
will
hold on
not
a second. Matcha, hold on. Janet Davis, can you jump in? Because I saw you trying to come in.
Yeah. Just basically, I think, Billy, what you're saying is that there's more involved in completing the application, and that's true, as Deborah said. You do need justification, professional justification. If there's a life plan, it has to be stated in the life plan. So there are a lot more steps than there had been previously. So it's a little disconcerting to some families, but there is money available. So we hope that parents will put in for family reimbursement and get supported by the agencies. That's it.
I hope that answered the question. Yes. Angela, do you want to add anything also? Or Janet got it? Okay, I think we got that one. So I'm going to move on to ACA. Crystal, I saw you here. Do you have an announcement?
Hi, good morning. No announcements. I can put the information in the chat for the ACA&Y Customer Service Center.
And one question that is in the chat, it's in my private section. Did you guys change phone numbers, please? Did you?
I don't believe so, but I can also put that in the number and the email address in the chat.
Can you please email that to us as soon as possible so I can make sure it's matching to the website and duly noted?
Absolutely.
Right there on the screen. Very easy. No problem. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, I'm with OHEL. I also want to announce that OHEL has funds available for family reimbursement in Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. Thank you.
Thank you, Pearl. It's good to finally hear from you guys. Let me just check with the person on the cell phone, 347-751-121283. Do you have an announcement? And you are actually you're now free to speak. The person from 347-751-21283. Please, do you have an announcement for the last call? Okay, I don't hear from him. I'm guessing he's left. Okay, I got him. Anyone else has an announcement? Joe, since your microphone is not on, I don't know if you have any announcement or anything, so you can just put that into the chat. Okay, I hear a lot of people saying they're leaving, and I can understand that, because yes, it's already past 12. Before we end the meeting, my last final announcement to remind everyone, our next meetings are on February 15th and March 15th, which is the third Wednesday. Please make sure you visit the website for the schedule, and the recording minutes as well as the other minutes will be ready closer to the day of the meeting. Remind everyone, please make sure you attend the subcommittees, especially provider information and transition. Transition is tomorrow, which was mentioned already. And remind everyone, please if people miss this meeting, the recording will be going in by the end of this week. So therefore, it will be in the joint meeting page, and you can always get it and watch the videos and get all the nooks and crannies you need. Again, I want to be as the vice chair of the Brooklyn DD Council, Christopher D. Greif, Deborah Greif, who's the head chair of the advisory council, and I know Rose is here, Roselle, who's the provider information. We want to wish thank you everyone who attended today, and for the record, the attendance was 110 that attended today. So as a reminder,
thank you very much, everybody.
Okay. Please make sure that if you have any service openings, please visit the website. Please make sure you email us by the end of this week, which is Friday, so it can be updated on the weekend. Now, remind everyone, on behalf of both councils, we want to wish Happy Chinese New Year, the Happy Moon New Year, and God Hei Fa Choi. Thank you, everyone. And have a great day and great afternoon. And please stay safe.
Thanks, Chris and Deborah.
Thank you, Janet. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man. And you too, Sandy.